The galaxy was no longer a safe place. Many stars, planets, and life forms lived in fear. For years, a cruel alien race called the Varkari had spread terror across many star systems. The Varkari were strong, fast, and ruthless. They destroyed anything and anyone who stood in their way. Planets that once shone brightly in the dark space were now nothing more than ashes. Cities were burned down, and millions of lives were lost. No one could stop the Vark. Their ships were powerful, and their weapons could tear planets apart. They showed no mercy. Across the galaxy, governments and armies tried to fight back, but the Varkari always won. Their power seemed endless. They crushed every resistance like insects. Even the bravest soldiers ran away when the Varkari arrived. Many species gave up hope. They thought the galaxy was doomed. No one believed a small group, let alone a single ship, could ever defeat the Varkari. Fear ruled the stars. But then, in the far edges of the galaxy, a small human ship appeared. It was tiny compared to the Varkari fleet. It had only one vessel. No one knew much about it. Some called it the White Star, others just called it the human vessel. The humans were not known for war. Other species thought humans were weak and small, but the humans were brave. Their vessel did not run. It did not hide. Instead, it moved straight into the path of the Varkari armada. The Varkari noticed the human ship. They laughed. How could one small ship scare them? It was funny. The alien leaders said, "Let it come. We will destroy it easily." The human captain was calm. He knew the danger. He knew the Varkari had crushed many fleets bigger and stronger than his own. But he also knew something that the Varkari did not understand. Humans never gave up. The human vessel moved slowly, keeping its engines quiet. It went closer to the Varkari ships, getting ready to face the biggest fleet in the galaxy. The tension was high. Other alien species watched from afar, holding their breath. Suddenly, the Varkari sent a loud message through space. It was full of threats and demands. "Leave now, human, or be destroyed." The voice was cold and full of hate. The human captain did not answer with words. Instead, he prepared his ship for battle. The crew worked fast. They checked their weapons and shields. Everyone was ready. They had trained for this moment their whole lives. The Varkari grew angry. Their warships surrounded the human vessel. Their weapons glowed, ready to fire. The human ship was alone. No backup, no help. Then, a strange thing happened. The human ship did not run. It stayed strong. It faced the Varkari fleet with steady engines and bright lights. It stared back, without fear. The Varkar leaders looked at each other in surprise. No one had ever dared to stand against them like this. Some ships moved closer, trying to scare the humans. The human captain gave an order: "Prepare to fire." The crew held their breath. Then, a quiet sound filled the space. The first shot from the human vessel. The shot was small, but fast. It hit one of the Varkari ships, not with great power, but with perfect aim. The ship's engines failed, and it started to fall out of formation. The Varkari were shocked. No one had ever hit them so precisely before. They fired back with huge blasts, trying to destroy the human ship. The human crew moved quickly. They dodged the attacks with skill. They used smart moves and technology that surprised the aliens. The battle had just begun. The humans showed the first sign of hope in the galaxy. If one small vessel could stand and fight, maybe others could too. The Varkari growled with frustration. They sent more ships. They attacked harder. But the human ship did not break. The galaxy watched in silence. The small human ship was a light in the dark, a symbol of courage. In the heart of the chaos, the human captain looked at his crew. He knew the road ahead was dangerous and long, but he also knew this moment was important. This was not just a fight for survival. It was a fight for the future of the galaxy. The dark terror of the Varkari was challenged by something no one expected. The fearless heart of a single human vessel. The vast space was silent but tense. The tiny human vessel floated calmly near the massive Varkari fleet. The alien warships, huge and menacing, surrounded it like a net. The Varkari were angry and confused. How could one small ship stand so close without fear? From the lead command ship, a deep, harsh voice echoed through space. The message was loud and clear. Human vessel, you are ordered to surrender immediately. Leave this sector or face total destruction. Your resistance is useless. The voice was cold and full of confidence. The Varkari believed that no one could challenge them. Their ships had crushed countless worlds. They thought this human was just another weak prey. On the human ship, the captain sat calm in his command chair. His eyes were steady and strong. The crew looked at him, waiting for orders. The captain knew this moment was crucial. He was not just fighting for his ship or crew, he was fighting for the hope of many species. The captain pressed a button and spoke clearly. This is Captain Elias of the human vessel Valor. We do not surrender. We are here to stop your terror. Leave now, or we will fight. The Varkari were shocked. No other race had ever dared to speak back so boldly. The command ship's captain growled in anger. Foolish human. You do not understand your place in the galaxy. You will learn it the hard way. The Varkari began to prepare for battle. Their weapons charged and glowing energy beams filled the air. Their ships moved closer to surround the Valar. Inside the human vessel, the crew moved quickly. The engineers checked the shields, the weapons officers armed the cannons, and the pilots prepared for sudden moves. Everyone was ready. Their training was tough, and now they faced the ultimate test. Suddenly, a loud alarm rang inside the Valar. The Varkari fired the first shots. Bright beams of energy shot toward the human ship. The Valar shook under the powerful hits, but its shields held strong. Captain Elias shouted, "Evasive maneuvers. Fire back with precision." The small human ship moved fast and smooth. It was not as large or strong as the alien ships, but it was clever. The crew used every trick they knew. They dodged the big beams, firing back with laser cannons aimed at weak points in the enemy ships. The first Varkari ship took a direct hit. Its engines faltered, and it spun out of control. The crew on that ship screamed in panic. The humans had made their first kill. This surprised the Varkari. Their confidence began to shake. They did not expect such skill from a single human ship. Attack with full force. The Varkari warlord yelled, "Destroy the human pest before it grows." More alien ships opened fire. The sky filled with bright flashes and explosions. The battle was fierce. The Valor's crew stayed focused. They worked as a team. The weapons officers found weak spots. The pilots kept the ship moving fast, and the engineers kept the systems running. Despite the danger, Captain Elias kept his calm. He believed in his people and their strength. "We fight not just for ourselves," he said. "We fight for freedom and hope." As the fight continued, the humans used their ship's special abilities. The Valar had advanced technology, devices, fast thrusters, and smart weapons. These tools helped the humans survive against the larger Varkari fleet. The aliens were confused and frustrated. Their powerful ships were losing to one small vessel. Some began to doubt if they could win. Meanwhile, the humans sent a secret message to nearby friendly planets. They asked for help, hoping that this brave stand could inspire others to join. The Varkari, however, ignored these warnings. They believed they would win soon. "This human ship is nothing but a small flame," their leader said. "We will burn it out easily." But Captain Elias had a plan. He wanted to use the boldness of the humans to surprise the enemy. "Prepare the EMP blast," he ordered. "It's risky, but it can disable their weapons temporarily." The crew looked nervous. The EMP electromagnetic pulse could affect their own systems too, but they trusted their captain. The Valar moved closer to the heart of the Varkari fleet. The enemy ships fired their biggest weapons, but the human ship was quick. Then, with a bright pulse of energy, the EMP blast fired out from the Valar. The large Varkari ships, weapons and shields, flickered and shut down for a moment. The alien crew shouted in confusion and fear. Taking advantage of this, the Valar fired powerful laser beams at the closest ships, damaging several. The Varkari warlord roared, "Impossible! How can one human vessel do this?" The battle was far from over, but the human ship had proven something important. They were not afraid. The galaxy watched closely now. This single human vessel had challenged the might of the terrible Varkari Empire. It was a bold challenge, a brave first contact. For the first time, hope flickered in the dark. Maybe, just maybe, the humans could change the course of the galaxy. The battle raged on in the cold darkness of space. The Varkari fleet, once confident and proud, now showed signs of worry. Their massive ships had never faced an enemy like the humans before. The small human vessel, Valor, moved swiftly and struck. With surprising power, Captain Elias stood tall on the bridge. His eyes scanned the stars and the glowing enemy ships. The Valar had taken some hits, but its shields held strong. The crew worked like a well-oiled machine, calm and focused. "Hold the line," Elias ordered. "We will show them what humans are made of." The crew nodded, their faces full of determination. They had trained for years for this moment, and now their courage was tested. The Varkari watched in disbelief. How could this tiny ship resist their mighty fleet? Their weapons were the best in the galaxy, but the humans had skill and heart. The human weapons officers fired precise blasts of energy. Each shot aimed to damage weak points on the Varkari ships. The enemy fleet lost several ships, causing confusion and fear among the aliens. "Impressive," one Varkari captain muttered. "These humans fight with strange strength." The pilots skillfully dodged huge energy blasts. The ship weaved between enemy fire like a fast comet. Every move was careful and smart. No careless mistakes. Suddenly, the Valor's communications officer picked up a strange signal. It was a call for help from a small planet under attack by the Varkari. The message was desperate and full of fear. Captain Elias looked at his crew. "We can't ignore them. We must help." The crew agreed quickly. They were more than soldiers. They were protectors of hope. The Valor changed course, heading toward the planet. The Varkari ships noticed and moved to stop them. "This human ship is dangerous," said the Varkari warlord. "It saves weak worlds and attacks us. We must destroy it now." The aliens prepared for another attack. Their ships fired many powerful blasts, trying to crush the Valar before it reached the planet. But the humans refused to back down. The Valar shields flashed bright under the attack, and the crew kept their cool. As they neared the planet, the Valar's weapons fired again. This time, the humans targeted the Varkari ground forces, helping the planet's defenders. The small planet's armies, inspired by the human courage, fought back harder. The Varkari were surprised by the resistance. Captain Elias spoke to the planet's leader through the comms. "Hold strong. We are here to help. Together, we can push the Varkari back." The planet's people cheered. They had hope again, thanks to the humans. Back in space, the Varkari fleet regrouped, furious at the setback. They sent their fastest ships to trap the Valar, but the human vessel was too clever. It used its speed and stealth to avoid capture. The human crew's resolve grew stronger. They knew they were small in number, but their spirit was big. One of the crew, a young weapons officer named Mara, spoke to the captain quietly. "Captain, the Varkari are scared of us now. They don't expect humans to be so tough." Elias smiled. "Humans have a secret weapon, our will to survive and protect. That is stronger than any laser." The Valar moved back to open space. The Varkari fleet waited, angry and cautious. Suddenly, the Varkari warlord sent a new message. Humans, you fight well, but your courage will not save you. Surrender, or be destroyed. Captain Elias replied, we will never surrender. We fight. For every life in this galaxy. The warlord growled and ordered a massive attack. Hundreds of ships fired their most powerful weapons at the Valar. The space around the human ship lit up with explosions and fire. The Valar shook, and systems started to fail. But the human crew worked faster, fixing damage and keeping the ship steady. Hold on, Elias shouted. We will not fall today. The crew pushed their ship to the limit. Using every bit of energy and skill, they fought through the storm of enemy fire. Suddenly, the Valar fired a special weapon, a focused energy beam that cut through the enemy's strongest ship. The Varkari flagship exploded in a brilliant flash. The enemy fleet hesitated. Their leader was dead, and their formation broke. Captain Elias took the chance. All ships fall back. The humans are stronger than you thought. The Varkari retreated, leaving the battlefield for the first time in many years. The crew of the Valar cheered. They had done the impossible. They had won a great victory against a terrible enemy. But Captain Elias knew this was just the beginning. The Varkari would return, stronger and angrier. He looked at his crew and said, we have shown the galaxy that humans will not give up. Our power is not just in our ships, it is in our hearts and minds. We will keep fighting. Together, we will bring peace to the stars. The human vessel moved forward into the unknown, ready for the next battle. The power of human resolve had shaken the terror of the galaxy, and it was only growing stronger. The Valar floated silently in the vast emptiness of space, but the calm was only a moment's pause. The stars around seemed colder, as if the galaxy itself was holding its breath. The Varkari fleet had not forgotten their defeat. Far from it. They were furious and hungry for revenge. Captain Elias stood on the bridge, staring at the holographic display of the enemy fleet. The numbers were overwhelming. Hundreds of Varkari ships, bigger and stronger than ever before, had gathered. They wanted to crush the human vessel once and for all. Our shields are holding, but just barely, said the chief engineer. If they hit us again with full force, we might not survive. Elias nodded. We fight with what we have. There is no other choice. The crew felt the weight of the moment. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and alone. But their spirit did not break. Prepare for battle, Elias ordered. We will fight against all odds. The Varkari warlord's voice boomed through space. Humans, your courage is useless. We bring the full power of our fleet to end your defiance. The warlord's ships formed a deadly ring around the Valar. Energy weapons charged, ready to fire. The attack was about to begin, but the humans had one advantage: hope, as the first beams of energy shot toward the Valar. The ship's shields flared bright, absorbing the blasts. The Valar responded with quick, sharp laser fire, targeting the enemy's weak spots. The battle became a deadly dance. The small human ship moved like a shadow, dodging giant blasts and striking back with skill. One of the pilots, Lieutenant Sarah, flew the ship with expert hands. She weaved through the enemy fire, making it hard for the Varkari gunners to hit their target. The Varkari grew frustrated. Their powerful weapons were not enough to destroy the Valar. The human ship was too fast, too clever. Inside the ship, the crew worked tirelessly. The engineers repaired damage as fast as it came. The weapons officers found new ways to attack. Captain Elias watched his crew with pride. They fought not just with weapons, but with their hearts. Suddenly, a new problem appeared. The Valar's main engine began to fail. A deep rumble echoed through the ship. We have a critical engine failure, the chief engineer shouted. We may lose speed and maneuverability. Without speed, the Valar would become an easy target. The crew's faces grew tense. Elias took a deep breath. We can't run. We have to fight. The Valor slowed down, and the enemy ships closed in. The Varkari warlord smiled cruelly. Now, you will die, human. The Varkari fired their strongest weapons, huge energy blasts that could tear through metal like paper. The Valor shook violently. Sparks flew inside. The crew held on tightly, but just as the enemy prepared to deliver the final blow, the human ship's hidden weapon activated. From beneath the hull, a wave of energy burst out, a powerful pulse that disrupted the enemy's targeting systems. Varkari ships lost control of their weapons. Their beams went wild, hitting each other by accident. The Valor's crew seized the moment. Fire at will, Elias commanded. The human ship's cannons fired precise, deadly shots. The Varkari fleet started to break apart. The warlord growled in anger. This is impossible. Humans used tricks no one had seen before, but the Valor was more than tricks. It was the will and courage of the crew that made it strong. Despite the engine failure, the crew worked fast to fix the damage. Engineers risked their lives in dangerous parts of the ship to restore power. Meanwhile, the Valor's pilots kept fighting, dodging enemy fire, and protecting the ship. After a tense few minutes, the engineers reported success. The main engine was back online. The Valor surged forward with new speed. The crew cheered quietly. Captain Elias smiled, but his eyes were serious. The battle was far from over. The Varkari warlord called for retreat. Fall back. We will return stronger. The fleet pulled away, leaving the Valor standing alone in the dark space. The human crew felt a mix of relief and determination. They had survived against all odds, but they knew this was only one fight in a long war. Elias looked at his crew and said, "We showed them that humans never give up, no matter the odds. We are stronger when we stand together. The galaxy will hear our story." The Valor moved forward, deeper into the unknown, ready for whatever came next. Against all odds, humanity's courage had made a mark in the stars. The Valor drifted in the deep space, its crew tired but not broken. They had faced the mighty Varkari fleet and survived, but the war was far from over. The galaxy watched, waiting to see what would happen next. Captain Elias stood at the ship's command deck, eyes full of determination. "We have fought well, but this is only the beginning," he said. "Now, it is time to change the war." The crew gathered around, listening closely. Elias shared his plan, a bold and risky move that could change everything. "We cannot fight the Varkari fleet alone. They are too many and too strong," Elias explained. "But maybe, if we inspire others, the galaxy will rise against them." The humans had become a symbol of hope. Many planets, once crushed by fear, now whispered about the brave human ship that dared to stand. Some even secretly sent messages, offering help. Elias ordered the communications officer to send a message to every friendly world they could reach. It was a call for alliance, a chance for all to unite and fight the terror together. The response came slowly, at first. Small fleets from distant stars joined the Valor near a safe space station. The humans welcomed their new allies, a mix of species who had suffered under the Varkari. The galaxy was starting to change, but the Varkari were not blind. They saw the threat growing and prepared their deadliest weapon, a massive war machine called the Void Reaper. It was a ship unlike any other, capable of destroying entire fleets in seconds. The warlord sent a warning to the Valor: "Surrender now, or the Void Reaper will wipe out your new allies." Elias stared at the message, feeling the weight of the choice. He knew surrender meant the end of hope. They had to fight, no matter the cost. "We will not give up," Elias said firmly. "We fight for freedom." The Allied fleet prepared for battle, nervous but ready. The small ships formed a line, their lights shining bright in the dark. The Void Reaper appeared, a giant shadow that blotted out stars. Its weapons glowed with deadly energy. The battle began with a thunderous roar. The Void Reaper fired powerful blasts that tore through the Allied ships. Many were destroyed in seconds. The Allied commanders shouted orders to regroup and fight back. Captain HFY piloted the Valor closer to the massive war machine. His heart pounded, but his mind was clear. He knew the only way to win was to strike at the heart of the Void Reaper. Prepare the stealth system, HFY ordered. We will sneak inside. The Valor disappeared from enemy sensors, moving like a ghost toward the giant ship. Inside the Void Reaper, the human crew faced danger at every turn. The war machine was filled with deadly traps and guards, but the humans were quick and smart. They avoided the traps and fought the guards with courage. Finally, they reached the control room. HFY placed explosives to destroy the ship's main weapon system. The timer counted down. Outside, the battle raged on. The Allied fleet struggled but held the line. Suddenly, the Void Reaper's weapons shut down. The enemy ships stopped firing, confused and scared. Then, a massive explosion rocked the war machine. The Valor slipped away just in time. The Allied fleet cheered. The turning point had come. The Varkari warlord was furious. His strongest weapon was gone. The galaxy felt a new hope rising. The humans had struck a blow no one thought possible. Captain HFY looked at his crew, proud but focused. This is just the start. The galaxy is waking up. We fight for a future where no one lives in fear. The battle was not over, but the tide had changed. The humans and their allies had found the strength to stand tall. The Valor and its crew moved forward, ready to face whatever came next. The turning point had come. The galaxy would never be the same again. The victory over the Void Reaper sent a powerful message across the stars. The Valor and its crew had shown that even the greatest enemy could be challenged. The galaxy began to stir from its long sleep of fear. Captain HFY stood tall on the bridge, watching the starry sky. Around him, the Allied fleet grew stronger. Ships from many different worlds gathered, each ready to stand against the Varkari terror. We are no longer alone, HFY said quietly. The galaxy is waking up. Together, we can stop the Varkari. The crew worked hard to repair their ship and prepare for what was coming. Messages poured in from distant planets. Some offered ships, others sent supplies. More and more races wanted to join the fight. One message stood out, a secret transmission from the Zyran, an ancient species known for their wisdom and power. The Zyran had stayed silent during the early wars, but now they offered help. HFY smiled. This is the moment we have been waiting for. The alliance grew quickly. The Valor became a symbol of hope, a beacon that brought light to dark places. But the Varkari were not silent. Their warlord was angry and desperate. He sent out a message full of threats, warning the galaxy to stop their rebellion or face total destruction. The Allied leaders held a council on a nearby space station. Species from all corners of the galaxy gathered to plan. HFY spoke to the leaders. The Varkari want to divide us with fear, but we are stronger together. We must unite and fight as one. The council agreed to launch a massive strike on the Varkari's main base, a fortress planet hidden deep in hostile space. The plan was risky. The planet was heavily defended. The Varkari had built weapons that could destroy whole fleets in moments. But the Alliance had a secret weapon, the humans' courage and determination. The Allied fleet traveled through space, moving as one. The tension was high. Every ship carried hopes of millions. As they approached the fortress planet, the Varkari opened fire. The sky lit up with energy blasts and explosions. The battle was fierce. The Varkari fought with desperation, trying to stop the attack. But the Allied fleet was united. They moved with skill and courage. Captain HFY piloted the Valor into the heart of the fight. His crew fired lasers and missiles, breaking through enemy defenses. The humans led the charge. Their bravery inspired others. Inside the fortress, the Allied ground forces landed. They fought fierce battles on the planet's surface, pushing the Varkari back. The tide was turning. The Varkari warlord sent his deadliest soldiers to stop the attack, but they were met with strong resistance. Elias sent a message to the Allied fleet. "Hold the line, we are close to victory." The crew worked together, pushing through pain and fear. Suddenly, the fortress' main weapon began to overload. The Varkari warlord's control was slipping. With a final blast, the fortress exploded in a huge fireball, lighting up the sky. The galaxy cheered. The Varkari's greatest power was gone. The Allied ships gathered to celebrate. Captain Elias looked at his crew and said, "We did this together. The galaxy is free because we stood united." But Elias knew the fight was not over. The Varkari might return, but the galaxy would be ready. The humans had shown what was possible with courage, unity, and hope. Even the darkest terror could be defeated. The Valar moved forward, leading the new alliance into a brighter future. The galaxy was rallying, and nothing would stop its rise. The galaxy had changed forever. Where once there was fear and darkness, now there was hope and light. The Varkari terror, which had ruled for so long, was broken. The alliance of many species, led by a single human ship, the Valar had made history. Captain Elias stood on the bridge, looking out at the stars. Around him, the Allied fleet moved in quiet triumph. Their journey had been long and hard, but they had come through. The Varkari warlord was defeated, his forces scattered. "Today, we are not just survivors," Elias said quietly. "We are the future." The humans had shown the galaxy what courage meant, not through numbers or power alone, but through heart, will, and the refusal to give up. News of the victory spread quickly. Planets far and wide celebrated the fall of the Varkari. Stories of the brave human ship and its fearless crew became legends. Young aliens in distant worlds looked up at the stars and dreamed of being like the humans, strong, smart, and unbreakable. But the victory was not without cost. The Valar had lost many good people. The scars of battle were deep. Elias felt the weight of leadership, knowing the sacrifices made. He walked through the ship, visiting the crew. Their faces were tired but proud. Each person had a story of bravery. In the mess hall, Mara, the young weapons officer, smiled as she spoke with friends. "We fought when no one else would. That's what makes us different." Elias joined them and nodded. "You all made history. The galaxy owes you its freedom." Outside the ship, the stars seemed brighter. The darkness was fading. But even in victory, Elias knew peace was fragile. The galaxy still had dangers, other enemies, old rivalries, and the challenge of rebuilding. He gathered his crew for one last meeting. "Our fight is not over," he said. "We have won a great battle, but we must work to keep this peace. We must be ready, always." The crew listened, knowing the truth in their captain's words. Meanwhile, the Allied leaders met to build a new future. They created a council to protect the galaxy and keep the peace. Humans took a place of honor, not as conquerors, but as protectors. Captain Elias was asked to be part of this council. He accepted, knowing that his duty was far from done. As the Valar moved through space, it carried the hopes of many. The ship was no longer just a vessel. It was a symbol that one human vessel, with courage and heart, could face the greatest terror and change the fate of the galaxy. The legend of the Valar and its crew grew. Songs were sung, stories told, and lessons learned. The galaxy remembered the day when a small human ship stared down an empire and refused to back down. And so, the human legend began. Hi, this story is made by a human just for fun. It's not real. All the characters and events are made up. Thanks for watching.